Well, it's your main man Anil coming live once again for Immunity for the Community podcast. How's everybody doing? How are you all feeling on this Saturday? It is an amazing spring afternoon out there. I just came back from a boxing session with my main man Daryl, my PT Daryl. Big shout out to Big Daryl, man. It was a good session today. I caught you with a few decent ones, and you caught me with a few decent ones, but that was a good sparring session. But today, the podcast is going to be on how you can use moments of gratitude. Yes, how you can use moments of gratitude to help you visualize a brighter future, a compelling future, your why, and how you can show these moments of gratitude and then use them in your visualizations to manifest the future which you already want to happen right here and now. And as part of the Write Your Own Transformational Story course, this is going to be a very special podcast where I'm going to walk you through how I did this with the UPW event, the moment where I walked on fire, and how I replayed that moment over and over again to manifest the positive energy, to bring the process of manifesting where I am right now into fruition. So let's dive right in. So what are moments of gratitude? Moments of gratitude are moments where we felt joy, where we felt happiness, where we felt gratitude. It's an emotion, where we felt just bliss in that moment. And this is very important to instill within yourself when it comes to health and wellness, because this can actually help you push on in your health and wellness goals. This can help you towards your fitness goals. See, the problem is when you use negative emotions to try and drive yourself to do things like get in shape, it never works, because you ultimately beat yourself up. What you need to do is build yourself up, and you need to stay on track so that you don't get derailed. See, this is what we're going to do. We're going to use moments of gratitude to help you so that you can visualize your compelling future in the now, and then use that to stay on track towards your compelling future, and use that as your why so that you do not get derailed. If you get off track, you get back on the train to your compelling future and your why. Here's how we're going to do it. So, at UPW, I went to Tony Robbins' UPW event, and it was a life-changing moment. I went to that event with so many limiting beliefs, with feelings of not being enough and scarcity and other feelings that would I ever amount to all that I could be? Could I live up to my full potential as a person? And this was bugging me. But like I said on the last podcast, I took a chance on myself. I made my own luck. And because I made my own luck then, I'm making my own luck now, day in, day out. So what I decided to do is I took photos all throughout the event. And here's why. I looked up to Tony Robbins as early as when I was 8 years old, and I always listened to his tapes at the start of the day. I would get ready and I'd be listening to Tony Robbins in the background, and he was my first male role model who I'd been listening to since that age, and as long as I can remember I could hear his voice. And then the opportunity came, where so far in the future I was at a crossroads. I was 25 years old. I was not quite sure of where I wanted to be in my life. I was not happy with where I was in my life, and I was in somewhat of what I would call a purgatory. I was not in a hell, but I was not in heaven either. I was not living my dream life, and I mean that with all due respect. I'm saying I just was in a place of being stuck. And I was very spiritual. I was very in touch with those emotions, and I just knew that there was something about me. There's more to me than just this. I'm not going to just sit here and accept this anymore. So I took photos all throughout this event, and I went there with a clear head. I went there with the intention to just learn, listen, absorb, take in the knowledge, take in the learning lessons from people who've been through things, and actually apply that to myself to get myself back on track. So here's what I did. I planned my Tony Robbins event all the way from the beginning. So I planned out what it is that I wanted to do. So I planned out all my itinerary. I planned out what limiting beliefs I wanted to get past, what limiting beliefs I wanted to overcome, and I really wrote them down. I wrote down all my fears. I don't want to be single. I don't want to be alone. I don't want to fail. I don't want to go through this thing, that thing. I want to succeed. What are my fears? What are my fears and insecurities? And I really listed them out. I'm not going to read them out now, because ultimately I've overcome those fears now, and I'm now trying to help you to overcome yours. But let's skip to the part where we start the visualization. So I've been taking photos the entire event, and I took the first photo of me on the way to the event. As you can see, I'm looking particularly handsome here, particularly handsome. 25 years old. Still got it. 29, but very handsome there. And then I took photos of myself in London on the way. So I took photos of myself going to London, all that scenery, myself on the way, me arriving there. And I took photos of the hotel that I checked in. So I'm taking photos of all the photos of the hotel I checked in. I checked into the Ibis Budget in East London on the Royal Docks, by the way. And then I took beautiful pictures of the hot spring weather over there in London. It was amazing. It was like record temperatures out there. So I was in the Royal Docks and it was blazing hot. I'll never forget it. Great moment. And then I took even more photos of the Royal Docks, and I took a photo of myself. I got somebody to take a photo of myself. As you can see, I'm looking particularly handsome there. Ladies, you know what I'm talking about. And I just kept taking photos of this event. Harrods. Harrods is one of the places that I dreamed of going to since I watched The Apprentice when I was a kid. So, you know, all these great moments. I took photos of all these great moments. And what I'm going to fast forward to. Here's Harrods again, ladies and gentlemen. Harrods, yeah? Here's what I'm going to fast forward to. I'm going to fast forward to the moment where I walked on fire. So this is day one. Okay. So, okay. At this point, Tony Robbins is coaching me on how, he's coaching all of us on how we can walk on fire. He is doing breathing exercises. He is getting us ready to go out there and walk on fire and basically overcome our fears. At this point, I'm thinking, should I do it? Should I walk on the fire coals? Is this safe? All these things are going through my head. But I visualized myself doing it over and over again. And I visualized it over and over again, and I got to the outside of where the fire coals were, and I was ready to walk on fire. Then, at this moment here, I walked on fire. I walked on fire coals 4 times the heat of an oven. 4 times the heat, ladies and gentlemen. That is a lot of heat. And I first stepped on it. I was a bit hesitant. Then I just walked over it. I said, forget this. I'm going over it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to smash it. Yes! And I did that. And I felt so amazing. Once I got to the other side of the fire coals, I hugged the crew member. I was so much in elation. I was like screaming in joy. I was like, yes! I was yelling in joy, like, yes! I did it! And I've pumped my fist in the air like I did it. And this moment changed me in so many ways, because walking on those fire coals gave me that belief that I can do anything. I can do anything I put my mind to. And I documented everything that I did at the Tony Robbins event, all the way from the fire walk, all the way to all these great moments that I had. And at the end of it, I tell you, I just felt so much different. I felt so much different. And here's one more moment that I want to share with you. Great person that I saw. Here's another great moment I want to share with you from that event. This is day 3. Bear with me. Okay, here we go. Right. I wanted to meet Tony Robbins before this event, and I visualized it over and over again. That was the goal that I had when I went into this event. And what I did was I actually visualized myself. I visualized myself meeting Tony Robbins. I drew a picture on my wall. I drew a picture on my visualization board, my dream board. And I drew a picture of myself and Tony Robbins in a cartoon version. And I wrote on there, I'm going to meet Tony Robbins at UPW. I kept asking people, I kept asking the members of staff there, the people, the crew members, oh, how can I meet Tony Robbins? How can I meet Tony Robbins? Oh, I don't think you can do that. Oh, you're not quite the gold member or whatever it was at the time, the ruby member, that was it, the ruby member. Oh, I'm not sure if you're going to have access to that. Oh, that won't happen. This won't happen. And I just said, forget this. I'm not going to listen to any one of you. I'm going to get to the front of that stage and I'm going to meet Tony Robbins.